finally here. Finally got Gonzo in the room. I know I promised this for a little while, but we've struggled to get our diaries together. This is the problem. You're a busy man, Gonzo, aren't you? That's the thing.
I'm
You're hard to
busy.
tie down. You're
Yeah,
hard to tie down.
yeah. I know. You've got places to go, people to see, dogs to walk.
Absolutely, yeah. And I see you're the Christmas get up. You're already kind of you're Christmas
Right.
up really because I thought you were gonna. I was expecting a bit of stick from you today because our tree's up, and it's been up for about 2 weeks, right, in our house.
This is not the
S
same. This is not the same.
I think
Uh,
it's actually worse, to be honest
this
with
is
you.
anti-Christmas.
Yeah, I suppose.
So
Yeah,
you can do Grinch
yeah.
stuff
Oh,
before
I see. Right, I
December,
see. Yeah, yeah,
but the
yeah.
tree and that. I'm
Mm.
not anti-Christmas. I'm just saying this hoodie is. My decorations will. What day does? Is it Monday? I think Monday is the first. Is that
Yes,
right?
Monday's the is
Yeah.
that
So
when you?
we'll do.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it next. Obviously, you don't want to do it when the kids aren't here, but the kids, yeah, the kids
No.
are here.
So basically,
Yeah,
you're a normal human being, unlike my missus
yeah,
who wanted it up fucking at
yeah,
the beginning of November,
yeah.
and we had to compromise at the middle to mid November. So we've been having Shaking Stevens on for the last 2 weeks.
Oh
You know?
no, oh that's terrible. No wonder you don't look well. Wasn't
I know
terrible.
exactly. Yeah,
You
no.
look very well,
Thank you.
very
It's
well.
really kind of you. It's very nice. Cheers.
Mm.
But no, you good, mate. You've been keeping well.
I'm all right. I'm all right. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, yeah, good. And yeah, no, I've already thought too much about Christmas until you mentioned it, and
Mm,
my
mm.
girlfriend and she did say, "Oh, you've got your Grinch top on to do your to do your videos." I see. So, but yes, it was just. I thought, yeah, let's get it out. Let's get the Grinch out. If you pardon the
Yeah, yeah.
expression.
You're Christmas up. I like it. I like it. It's making me feel better about myself in this house. That's all I'm going to say. Um, right. Let's talk about West Ham. I suppose that's the right thing to do. We are going to talk about a couple of things I want to talk to you about. Is the stadium and ownership stuff because I know you've been doing quite a fair bit of content on it recently, which has been really good. Actually, very interesting.
Thank
But I
you.
just want to have a little bit of a chat with you about it. But before I do. How are you feeling about West Ham at the moment? Because the last time we spoke, it would have been back in, I think, would have been Graham Potter days, I believe, last time we
Yeah.
did a video, which obviously he did very well, as we know. And I think we even had a bet on, didn't we? Which is still
But that doesn't
standing.
count. No, it's no, it's not. No, it's
No,
not. That was about Graham Potter.
are
That was
you
about
sure?
Graham 100%. And we go back
Mm,
to old tweets or messages if you want. That was about Graham Potter. Graham Potter.
what the bet? Is that what we're
I think you
saying?
owe me a tenner. Never mind anything else.
Well, are
That's
you
still
saying? Are you saying
running.
that? Because I know the bet was, wasn't it? If we're West Ham finishing the top half, that was. I think that was the
But
bet.
it was under Graham Potter. The whole point, the whole premise. Sorry, everyone that's watching the video. We'll argue.
Mm,
We're going to argue amongst ourselves for a second.
yes.
The whole point was that I had
Mm,
no faith in Graham Potter, and you were saying, "I think he'll do all right." Let's get back to where it is. Do you know what
Wow.
I mean?
Well, I
I've
just
got
remember it.
to
I
throw
think
you
if
under
you look
your
at the
own bus
text,
in
you just got to look at
studio.
the text. I mean, forget all the
I
waffle
will.
around it. You read the contract; it just says top half. That's it. There's
Is that right?
no
Is that
caveats around it.
right? I
Yeah,
see.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
No, so things have changed a fair bit at West
Mm.
Ham, of course. Nuno Espirito Santo, of course, is now in charge. We're unbeaten in three, Gonzo. We're unbeaten in 3 games. Sorry, 7 points from 9. Okay, it hasn't been the prettiest, but we've been, we haven't been bad. How are you feeling about things? Are you feeling a bit more? I wouldn't say fruity, 'cause it's probably a bit too far to say it, but are you feeling a bit happier, a bit more content about West Ham, a bit more less
Yeah,
anxious, let's
I
say?
am. I am. Yeah, I am. Um, yeah, Nuno Espirito Santo Claus. We'll be doing a bit of that, I think, as
Oh,
we
I like
in the
that.
build up to Christmas. We're doing a
I'm
thumbnail,
nicking that
probably with
one. Yeah.
Nuno and a beard, and he probably looked not. Actually, do we, what happens to you on Christmas Eve, Mark? I love you, funny mate. You never see him. You never see Mark Carlaw and
No,
Father Christmas at
no.
the same time, do you?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's very true. That's
No
very
wonder
true.
you're
Yeah.
starting Christmas early in your house. You're
There you
rather
go.
busy at Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I'm fucking knackered.
I've been
Yeah.
very good, Mark. I've
That's
been a
not
very good
what
boy
I've
this
heard,
year.
mate. That's not what I've heard.
um, yeah, I like him. I like him. I like his demeanor. He's got that wonderful thing about him as he seems to carry confidence and authority, but he's likable, which I think are really just a really nice combination. I think the players seem to like him. I think he is nothing drastic tactically. There's nothing groundbreaking, but I think his tactics are solid, which is what you
Yeah.
couldn't say about either of the last two managers who both, if maybe they knew what they wanted to do, but it wasn't evident from my point of view, my perspective, that they knew what they were doing.
Mm.
I think whilst there's nothing groundbreaking, there's nothing innovative about Nuno's tactics. I think if you could have good, solid tactics, understandable tactics, and good man management, then that goes a long way. I don't think Potter had the man management or the tactics. I'm not sure Lopetegui had sort of semi-tactics, and then maybe had a bit of man management, and he used to beat people up as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did indeed. Yeah.
Allegedly, that's a joke. You know, he could have a fight in a telephone box. He could. So, I like Nuno. He's nothing fancy, no frills. Yeah, good man management.
Yeah.
Or in tactics, if you want. He's got his flaws. He's got his flaws, of course. We saw him in the Bournemouth game. We saw him in his team selection. But I think come the end of the season, I wouldn't have any worries. If he'd have been here from the start, no worries at all. Come the end of the season, his man management, his pragmatic tactics might be enough to keep us up. And there was a point in the season where I thought we got no chance now. I thought we were like Wolves, basically, and we got big daylight between us and Wolves now.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I quite like the fact that we seem to have a bit of fight in us now. We didn't have that. I didn't think. I think we were just so soft, and it feels like a bit of a team ethic building at West Ham. They fight for one another, and I've even noticed it, Gonzo, with even things like, you know, players getting in scuffles and stuff, and they're backing each other up a little bit, and all that, even the little things like that, they matter. Do you know what I mean? And I thought that's been lacking. So I'm pleased with Nuno. Actually, I think, like you say, it's no frills. It's not going to be the best football in the world or anything too exciting, but I don't really care at this stage. I think it's just get us out of this trouble, and I'm quite confident we will. Actually, I think I'm hoping the bottom three that we see now is going to be the bottom three. I feel it probably is more likely to be that than anything else, but you know, it's still a long way to go. So I'm not going to get too excited. One thing that's been happening though, Gonzo, around the club for throughout the season and for a long time, but certainly throughout this season, is the protests that are going on. Obviously, you've been certainly talking with Hammers United, I know, as a few of us have, and it's fabulous. I think that what they're doing is really good, and it seems to be having an effect in terms of not just talk about the ownership, we'll come to that in a minute, but I think it's having an effect on West Ham. I think the fans seem a little bit more united. I think I've noticed it. I don't know about you, but even at London Stadium, the atmosphere feels a bit better. It feels like there's something growing at West Ham at the moment.
What game was the? What game? When we went on the when we went on the
Was that
march? What game was
Burnley?
it? That was Burnley. You could definitely. I felt the atmosphere of the protest carried into the stadium, but in a nice way. There was nothing nasty about that protest at all. It was nice. It's probably a terrible word to use to describe a protest,
but it was. You're right. It was friendly. It was a friendly atmosphere.
It was friendly.
Wasn't it? Yeah,
it was friendly, but loud and friendly in a way that football can be. You know, with singing and that sort of stuff, and then obviously Paul got on the mic, and then Bill got on the mic as well.
Yeah,
and I think then everybody then went to go and have their drink wherever they went, and went and had a drink, and I don't know. I just think everybody carried that then, because it was a little while, it was maybe a couple of hours by the time. What time we finished? About 12:15.
Yeah, it was about that. Yeah, I would say it's got to be about an hour and a half, wouldn't it? Something like that. Between
there was a time, but we sort of carried, well, as fan base, we carried the energy into the stadium, so that helped. I think I wasn't there for the Newcastle one, but I understand that we had a similar situation there. So I agree. I think it's. I do. I think it's given us a little bit of impetus, a little bit of energy. I think it went two ways. I think, to start with, all the stuff with the board at the start of the season, everything, I think we were very divided as a fan base. What I would say is, I feel everyone is very together now.
Yeah.
So I actually think this has brought I think it has actually brought everyone together. When they talk about it, you hear it, and I think there's times when the mainstream media have probably got it right, and there has been toxicity around the fan base, and I think it was there. But I think this has got rid of that. Actually, I can't think of any nastiness at all. I think largely as well, I think everybody is on board, and I would always encourage anyone to have their own opinion on anything football related. And but I can't. So it's not discouraged. If you were to turn around and say, I like the owners, certainly on my channel, I wouldn't be discouraging that. I'd probably keep an eye on it just to make sure you know the comments were all right on it, but no, I can't remember the last time anyone said it. So I
Yeah.
just think nobody wants the ownership anymore. So I think because everyone's sort of aligned,
Yeah, I agree. I
you
think
know,
it seems to be, yeah, you're right. It feels a strong alignment in terms of the fan base, and I'm glad you brought up the media as well, because there seems to be a shift in the media as well. Previously, it always felt like we were sort of ungrateful, and what we're moaning about, and especially when we had the cup success and stuff, hasn't let's say it didn't help because it's fabulous, but it didn't help when you're trying to scrutinise the ownership. They're sort of struggling to understand it. It feels like there's been a shift now. They seem to be seeing things in a different light when it comes to West Ham. I think they seem to
yeah.
appreciate the frustration, which I think is helping as well. Yeah, I'm quite liking the way things are going actually in that regard. I sense change, Gonzo. I sense changes on the horizon, not necessarily tomorrow, but it certainly feels like we're in a phase where things could be set to change at West Ham. How confident are you of that? Are you feeling that yourself, or do you still think it's a long way off and we're getting a little bit too ahead of ourselves?
No, I'm very confident. I'm very confident. You caught me on a interesting day actually,
Ooh,
because yeah, I think there's it definitely feels like there's murmurings, there's things going on behind the scenes. There's definitely 100%. I'll say there's 100%.
wow.
Well, at least this is what I've been
You sound like
told, and
Rachel
no
Reeves now.
reason.
I thought you're not going to raise
Don't start
taxes.
all, don't start all that. Um, uh, I've been told by some pretty reliable people who don't
Okay.
get involved in this and got no business doing videos and social media that something is happening. But the 100% bit is there are definitely there's definitely somebody interested in buying the club. Now, that's not to say that there hasn't been anyone interested before, but there is genuine interest there,
Mm,
and which obviously I know you want to talk about that as well. The reason is a good day. I've heard that today, and then yesterday, I've
mm.
not done a video about this, but yesterday there was another statement from the Greater London Authority just yesterday.
Wow. Okay. On regards to the stadium, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And I mean, I don't know what that statement is. Are we talking about what? Because they from remembering your previous videos and when you've talked about this, I
Yeah.
mean, they've been very open about. I mean, Khan actually said himself, didn't he? Sadiq Khan, obviously Mayor of London, sort of suggested that he would be open to talking to potential new
He
West Ham owners. They're actually they're saying this out loud. Do you know what I mean? In
Oh,
public
he did.
forums.
Oh, absolutely. So I'm just actually looking for it now. So yes, it was also so he's chief of staff. So Khan said that.
Mm,
Then his chief of staff, who's called David Bellamy, he also addressed the Greater London Authority at the London State at the London Assembly. There's so many of these things, these governing bodies and stuff. But in essence, it's the main council of London. It's at City Hall basically, and it's just on the agenda, and it has now been on the agenda 3 times within the last 3 weeks.
wow. Okay.
Um, so the first one was Khan, and Khan had said he is willing to discuss the stadium with any potential new owners. That is what he said. The future of the stadium.
Yeah.
Then this David Bellamy, who is his chief of staff, basically his spokesman as well, said that they were very, very unhappy with the rental agreement. They would want to renegotiate it. They would be, his words almost indicated they'd be open to an ownership share.
Okay.
Um, they don't like the contract. They say it's prohibitive, but he also said we've looked at it and there's no way for us to get out of it. Right, so they've signed a really, really bad deal.
It's about like
What
it's
is
like our agreement with the top 10 agreement this season. Basically, there's no getting out of it. It's iron cast. If West Ham finish in the top 10, you give me a tenner. That's what
it's not,
that's. There's no.
it's not. Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure Karen Brady drafted your part of our bet, mate. To be honest with you,
She just loves iron.
I'm fine. I think there's a lot of wriggle room for me. But anyway, so yeah, she's for all her fault, she's better at negotiating than you are, and they don't like it. Now, here's
Mm,
the really interesting thing, and I got to thank Keith yesterday on social media tagged me into something with Kieran Maguire. And Kieran Maguire has said because we're moving away from this PSR model onto the new model. The
mm,
new model actually eradicates any of the benefits that we might have had from having a low rental agreement. That's what Kieran Maguire replied yesterday on our little thread thing on social media. It
Okay.
wasn't on DMs. It was you could go and watch it, but you could go look at it as on public thing.
Yeah.
So that was really interesting. So whilst and I've said this for some time, whilst it was called the deal of the century at the time, it didn't factor in about financial regulation. So back then it
Right.
was good, and now it's a hindrance. So that was that. And then yesterday you had somebody called Neil Garrett, who is the chair of the Budget and Performance Committee for the Greater London Authority. And I do understand how boring this stuff sounds. I'm listening to myself saying it, and crikey, I'm sending myself to sleep here. But
No, but it's
it's
important,
quite,
isn't it? It's
it is
important.
important. It is important. So this Neil Garrett, he has basically said about the naming rights. We must get naming rights. There's no longer an appetite for these losses. So the last financial year was 19.5 million
Wow.
for the financial year.
Wow.
That's every year. It's between that
Yeah.
20 and
It's
30 million.
yeah.
Basically, he wants to get a deal. Now, this is good and bad. What we don't want is the London Stadium signing a naming rights deal, which then we're stuck to, which could hinder somebody coming in and taking over the club. That we don't want. We've already got a little problem there with Delaware North, who are the catering firm, who do all
Right.
the catering in there, because their contract is so damn long.
So we'd have to effectively take that on. Effectively, it'd have to be like 2p'd
We'd
over, I
have to
guess. Yeah.
yeah, or whatever.
Or
Yes,
yeah, something
yes,
like that.
we would, but it's basically it's factored in. It's just not particularly advantageous. We would not want to do it. I think if we were
Right.
ever going to think, ideally, if your ideal was that somebody comes in, takes over the club, and then they take over the stadium and the land and build us a new stadium, I think it would be then advantageous that we do our own grub,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
and grub and drinks. So there's a that's slightly prohibitive, but it shouldn't stop the club being taken over. What we don't really want is the London Stadium signing a 20-year deal with Mr. Kipling's Cakes,
Mm.
and of which West Ham wouldn't see anything of the first 4 million anyway. They're not likely to get loads more than that. Then anything above 4 million is then shared 50-50 between West Ham and the LLDC. So it's not great, but the point is that whether it's Neil Garrett, David Bellamy, or Sadiq Khan, they're all saying the same thing. There's
Mm.
no appetite anymore for these losses. And look, London's in a pickle. Is in a right pickle. And is well, the whole thing is underfunded anyway.
Mm. Mm.
But there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot. They need more police, and they need more public services. They need more police. They need more hospital beds. They need more of all that stuff. So there's not a massive appetite anymore within that London Assembly. Here's the point. This is what they sit down and talk. They talk about transport. They talk about infrastructure. They talk about policing. They talk about hospitals.
Mm.
And this is where they decide where the budget for London is going to be spent. The appetite within that room for basically, and these are the words they're using, subsidising West Ham every year.
Yeah. And
It's
you can't blame them for
ridiculous.
feeling like that. If
Of
you're
course.
part of that assembly, you'd be saying, "What are we doing here?" What I mean,
Yeah.
as you say, how can, it's not sustainable, is it? Every year, saying
No.
we've lost by the way, £20 million that could have gone towards God knows how many more police
Yeah.
has now been wasted supporting a football club
Exactly.
that no one gives a shit about. You know what I mean? Realistically,
Exactly.
you're in that room, so yeah,
And their language is really interesting. I love. I'm always really interested in this type of stuff. So one of the people when they're discussing this stuff, it wasn't either of the three people I mentioned. I think his name was Mahmood. I can't remember exactly. I think he said, "Well, we better all be West Ham fans at the moment. We better all be
yeah.
hoping
So
they
what
win
you're
every
saying there,
game, because if they get
of course,
relegated,
yeah,
it's going to
yeah.
cost us loads of money." And this is really, really interesting language from local level politicians. It's
Mm.
quite robust language, actually, what they're saying. So I'm seeing a move in the conditions that will allow us. If you were listening to all of that, you wouldn't conclude afterwards there's no way West Ham can own that stadium. You can only
Mm.
conclude actually that they're open to it. That they're saying the words, and then
But without saying it too loud, yeah.
they're talking about new ownership as well. We already know that when Pi Capital, we didn't find out until afterwards, but that Pi Capital thing was never going to go through because we found out afterwards that happened the exact time they were negotiating with Daniel Kretinsky. All right,
Right.
that's
Okay.
that's the timeline of that.
Mm.
But Pi Capital were able to enter negotiations with the
Yeah.
stadium operator,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
basically saying if we take over West Ham, we don't know what was said, and we don't know what was agreed. But when Pi Capital, they got remember they got Rio Ferdinand on board,
That's
they
right.
got
Yeah, Tony Cottee and
Tony
everyone.
Cottee on board, got a
Yeah,
few
yeah.
people on board. They were very confident that they could offer something a lot better with the stadium. We never got to see what that was. So again, they've proven, the stadium operator and by association, the mayor's office, have
Mm.
already demonstrated that they are willing to negotiate in and around the stadium with somebody who potentially could take ownership of West Ham. So these are the conditions now are ripe, absolutely ripe.
Yeah,
Probate has
absolutely.
been done on David Gold's shares. The only situation that was really stopping that was that the Gold, so Vanessa Gold, because the estate, just for those of you that don't know, the estate's not doing well. And I
The
know,
Gold
boo, boo,
Estate.
boo,
Yeah,
boo,
yeah.
yeah, boo, boo, boo hoo. They've only got 180 million now, and yeah, yeah, obviously.
It's Ann Summers, isn't it? That they've got issue. That's where they
And
put. Am I right
and
in
Summers
thinking
is
they
a
want to
problem.
get their attention on that?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Is that what?
Well, since you stopped buying all the all that
Oh,
lingerie, Mark, to
I
be honest with you,
know.
they've suffered since
I'll
then.
sort that out.
Yeah, it's true. I think they lost 13 million last year. They had to make an injection to prop that up. I'm not sure how scalable that is. I mean, just the way all of us buy anything these days. I'm not sure. I don't. I don't know. I don't. This will take a funny turn. I don't know how many people are walking into sex shops and buying a pair of knickers these days. When, as you know yourself, you can just order them online.
Absolutely easy.
Mark, and so I don't know. But anyway, that's making huge losses as well. Vanessa Gold, as I understand it, was willing to sell her West Ham shares for a lot less than David Sullivan is willing to sell his shares for. That was a bone of contention because David Sullivan's. Look, this is all conjecture, right? But this is my understanding, right? And believe me or don't believe me, as I understand it, David Gold is thinking, "Well, don't you devaluing my shares?" And probably her shares were too low, but they need to, they need the money to facilitate their other businesses, right?
Mm,
This is the
mm.
point. So you're gonna, when you're desperate, you're gonna sell low. Whereas I think David Sullivan's idea at a club and a club valuation was too high.
Right.
I think you're seeing a climb down on that now.
Oh, right.
And
Okay.
there's
Right. Interesting.
definitely negotiations are happening, or let's say
So,
tentative inquiries.
so I'm reading there. There's a bit of there's appetite as well. It appears from the Sullivan side of things that.
I think this
Yeah.
is happening. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I absolutely think this is happening. Yeah.
I mean, that's really it's exciting news for West Ham fans. I mean, it's we've been longing for this for quite a long time. So let's hope it continues in that direction, Gonzo. It seems it's quite very interesting. A lot to take in there. Actually, I'm looking forward to you because you've got your finger on the pulse with this, and it seems quite good. I'm quite curious to see how this develops further in the coming weeks. It seems like things are starting to
It's
move.
exciting, Mark.
Yeah, at last. I mean, how long have we waited for this? It's felt like
It's
it's never going to
exciting.
arrive, is it?
Yeah, and I've not. I just, but I don't want to. I'm glad you asked me on to talk about it because I don't want to keep doing videos about it because I don't want to get. I at the end of the day, I don't know. I'm hearing whispers and I'm hearing
Yeah,
rumors, and
yeah, I
I don't want to
understand.
get everyone's hopes up too much. But obviously, I'm because I don't want to be accountable for everyone else's excitement, but I am accountable for my own excitement, and I'm
Yeah,
getting pretty excited about it.
okay,
Because
that's good.
I mean, the thought of having new owners would be it's like dreamland.
It is, yeah, yeah. Well,
Really is.
we've over 15 years, haven't we? We've had of this slot, so
Mm.
it's long overdue. Gonzo, I really appreciate that. Before you go though, I do want to ask what are your thoughts ahead of the Liverpool game. Obviously, don't do score predictions. 'Cause I know you'll do your previews and stuff on your Hammers
It's up.
chat channel.
It's already up, mate.
Oh,
No,
is it? Is it? Oh, there
yeah,
you go. Oh, well, I didn't know that.
I
I'll
said
catch that later on
3-1.
then. I'm looking forward to that.
I said
Br-
3. Are you putting this video up today? Are you?
Yes, yeah, this will be up
Yeah.
start this evening. Yeah, what did you say? 3-1. What? West
Yeah,
Ham?
I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
bloody hell, you are in a good mood. What is going on? I'm liking this. You are getting excited. No, that's good. No, do you know what? It's a great time to play Liverpool. Let's be honest. This is the best time you're going to get to play Liverpool. Probably we're going to get in any other time. So,
Did you watch it? Did you see anything last night? Or see the goals or anything?
yeah, 4-1, wasn't it? They lost. Yeah, I did. So I
Did
only
you
saw the
see the goals?
highlights. I've seen the highlight. I didn't
Okay,
watch the game, but
right.
yeah,
You saw Van Dijk's handball.
yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
So
yeah,
you complain afterwards. Right. That's when I want the mic. I want to hear what your complaint is. I want to hear
yeah,
what.
yeah, yeah.
Why do you think that wasn't a handball?
Yeah, yeah,
I'd
yeah,
like
yeah.
to
Why are
know
you ranting? Yeah,
why
exactly. Just just
why
accept it.
that catch was not a was not a handball.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
That's
Um,
brilliant, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm. Do you know what? I'm feeling quite optimistic. I'm looking forward to this weekend of football, got to say. Although I will be in Bognor, so I won't be able to. I'm not at the
You
game, which is
will
a
be
bit.
in Bognor.
I'm in Bognor, yeah. But Butlins, give me
Mm.
Butlins
Be
plenty to take the
cold.
kids away. Bit
Oh, you're
nippy.
going to Butlins, are you?
Going to Butlins, taking the kids, yeah, for a little weekend away, a little bit of a pre-Christmas weekend away, because we haven't
I used to
celebrated
work
Christmas
there.
enough here, you know.
Mm.
So it's about
I used to
time we
work there
celebrate.
years and years ago. I used to work at Butlins in
Did
Bognor.
you? Is this back in the
Yeah.
Magic days?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Excellent.
Mm.
Excellent. Right, Gonzo, pleasure as
Mm.
always speaking
Love
to
it.
you, my friend.
Lovely,
Fingers crossed for
mate.
a
Well,
decent
have a nice
result.
time. Have a lovely time.
Thank you. Thank you. Looking forward
Will
to
you
it.
watch the game when you're there?
No, because I'll be travelling back, so it's going to be a case of I'm
Okay.
just going to be on the phone, just trying to keep up with the game and listening to it on the radio. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it though. I'm feeling quite optimistic actually, and if we can get 3 points, if we come away with a 3-1 win, that would be
Mm.
wouldn't that be absolutely
You
fabulous?
can tune into Gio's crotch along.
I could, I
You
could.
could.
I won't call it
Yeah.
that, but I mean, but I will.
Oh, you should do. Tell him I called it that. It's
I will.
fine.
I will. I'll tell him.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, yeah, that's a good shout. I'll do that. Indeed, I'll be on the train. And I'll do that. Catch Gio out.
Mm.
All right, then, mate. Well, look, have a good one, and I'll
Have a lovely
see you
time,
soon.
mate. And yeah,
Thank you very much. You
thanks
look
for having me
after
on.
yourself. Thank you very much. Cheers,
Cheers, mate.
Bye, mate. Bye.